Hello everyone. Just going to do a quick trade recap on pound yen. I opened this morning at London and just closed out about an hour or so ago, pretty much towards the end of the New York session. So last week these were our lows for the week, and we essentially rallied all the way back up to where we opened at the beginning of last week. I think, this is kind of somewhere right around in here is where we opened. So we pretty much erased the first part of the week with just a quick bull run rally. You can see it didn't take nearly as long as it did to kind of get down there, so, if we kind of map it out here, it took, 4 days or so, almost 5 days to go from that high to low, and then it only took just about 2 days to rally back up. So I felt like the bulls coming out of those lows were pretty strong, and towards the end of the day on Friday we kind of had a little sell off again, off of the highs of the open of last week, which that was right around a 50% retracement. And actually the Sunday open, I think, tagged that 50% retracement before kind of inching its way up. Had a quick little spike back down, didn't quite tag that 50%, it looks like, before kind of inching its way back up even more. So I felt like we were going to kind of continue that little bull movement, at least back up to these highs today. So I was looking for an opportunity to get long this morning when I woke up at London, and my entry was actually on a 15-minute chart, and initially it was a pretty decent entry. I didn't take much drawdown initially, but I could have probably found a little bit better entry had I used a higher time frame. But so initially when I woke up this morning, I saw we had just busted out of this this little wedge part coming up out of the low from the open, and usually there's this whole strategy, I guess, for like the London breakout. I don't trade it. I trade the way I trade, and if it kind of sets up in my favor, then I go ahead and trade the breakout. But so it broke out in the direction of kind of my bias, so I was looking for any kind of retest of this little wedge area and some of these levels here, and I'll mark those up real quick. We had a nice little level. Granted, this is a 15-minute chart, but we had a nice little support level here that had a pretty nice rally away from, and then once it was broken again, it acted as a pretty decent resistance. I mean, the bulls tried, several times to get back above this level, but could really never close back above it. And then, again, when it was retested, it struggled again before finally breaking above it with the London open, or the London breakout, or whatever you want to call it. And we finally we did get that retest a little after 4 o'clock this morning Eastern, and if I take that fib from that kind of little impulse breakout move up, right around that level is the 61.8, and not much above that is the little channel topper that was broken out of. So that's where I got long. I'll bring up my entry there. It was just pretty much essentially on that level as when I entered. I manually entered this morning. The 20 EMA was right there, and initially we had a nice little 20 pip rally off of it for I took maybe 5 pips of drawdown and 22 pip little rally off of it. So that was a nice little move, but we did get kind of sucked back down, and actually went back underneath my entry, and I ended up taking about 20 pips of drawdown too, a little 19 or 20 pips of drawdown. But I always have a 30 pip stop, and I felt that to be more conservative, I could have actually put it underneath that 50% retracement, which was right here. But I don't typically do much more than 30 pips of risk unless I'm trading a really higher time frame setup. So I just put it underneath that little impulse leg and that ended up being right at 30 pips, just a few pips below that impulse leg that rallied up out of this wedge. So I took my 20 pips of drawdown, and then it finally kind of rallied up a little bit, and eventually hit targets this afternoon about 2 o'clock after New York lunch session. Target-wise, with that fib that I did for that 15-minute chart, little impulse breakout, there was a negative 23.6 profit target right at the last week's or Friday's highs. And then, we have all this considerable structure up here, and this little level, which is pretty much on the negative 23.6 also. And considering it's more than likely going to be a really slow week, I don't expect any drastic moves from here. And we are technically still in kind of a downtrend on GJ, even though we had this little bull run up out of the lows from last week. So I wasn't going to be greedy. I took my pips. It ended up being, I think, right about 53 pips, just shy of 53 pips. You can see my entry time and my TP time. So all in all, it's a pretty decent little trade. I was more or less happy with. But I'm really happy where I took profit because it pretty much tagged that negative 23.6 and kind of reversed a little bit. And entry-wise, it could have been a little bit better. I could have used, a higher time frame entry. If we kind of clean this up, I'll just remove all these so we can kind of see potentially where I could have entered better. I could have maybe done a little trend line there, or even maybe a little trend line there, and kind of maybe gotten a little bit closer down here in the retrace. But it wasn't a horrible entry. You have to account for that drawdown in your trades. So that's I feel most of the time I can get away with a 20 or 30 pip stop, so that's what I do. And I can usually get at least a 1-to-1 out of that. And in this case, it was nearly 2-to-1. But I wasn't being greedy today. I was just going to take 50 pips, 52 pips, and call it a day. I wasn't really seeing much else show up. Like I said, it's a slow start to the week. This has only been right about 100 pip move on GJ, and that's just kind of baby pips for this pair, because this sucker can move. When it just makes a decision, it can move hundreds of pips in a single hourly candle. So 50 pips is 50 pips, and that'll add up quick if you get 10 of those this week. So we'll see. I don't anticipate that many trades. We'll have to see what the news is and kind of which. I do expect some pretty good movement towards the latter part of the week after the interest rates come out, and I kind of have a feeling that GJ is gonna make a decision here pretty quick, because if we take this little wedge here, if I can lock on here, we're kind of, if you draw it like that, we are below the wedge, but if you expand the most recent price action, we are still technically kind of in a wedge here. So I do feel like there's going to be a decision point to be made this week potentially on GJ, and I'm looking forward to trading it, and you know, whether it be up or down. I'll just, you know, wait for it to decide and then pick my entry in the direction that it breaks out, and price action is showing me which direction it wants to go. So this is my favorite pair to trade. It's pretty volatile most of the time, and you can collect a lot of pips pretty quick if your entries are pretty good. So if you have any questions about this trade, let me know. I don't really have anything else to say, so give my video a like if you want. If not, then that's okay too. Take care.